Welcome to the Impact Maker's Journey from Passion to Profits, the podcast showcasing heart-centered coaches, experts, and energy healers who are on a mission to change lives and create meaningful success doing what they love. I'm your host, Wendy Vaughn, business success coach and founder of Impact Maker Coaching. And I've got to be honest, the path from passion to profits is rarely easy, but it's always filled with growth, clarity, and surprising rewards. Now, each week I sit down with inspiring impact makers who have turned their knowledge and wisdom into thriving businesses that are making a meaningful difference for others. I will explore their personal and professional journeys, how they found their calling, and how they continue to stay aligned with their passion along the way. So if you're here to expand your vision about what's possible for yourself, you're in the right place. So join me as we discover the positive ripple effects created by today's guest. All right, welcome everyone. I have as my guest today, Peter Newell. Now, Peter is a heart-led AI strategist and business coach who supports those purpose-driven entrepreneurs who are in their 50s and beyond. And I'm going to ask you why the 50s and beyond. But welcome, Peter. I am so excited to have you as my guest today.
Thank you so much for having me, Wendy. I'm glad to be here.
I am excited to just dive into learning a little bit more about your entrepreneurial journey, as well as of course, this important work that you're doing. So now, because for me, the entrepreneur, the journey that they've been on is what results in their expertise, right? Their resilience, their compassion, everything that makes them that, amazing transformational expert. And typically that journey includes lots of what I call, air quotes, opportunities for personal growth. Do you agree?
Like tripping over yourself. I got it.
Like, gee, Wendy, you can't be shy anymore. You got to get over that. Exactly. So let me ask you, Peter, are you the same person now as when you started out as an entrepreneur?
Pretty much been the same guy throughout my whole career prior to becoming an entrepreneur and since becoming an entrepreneur. Yeah, I'm the same guy.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, that's great, because usually, for me, when I look at myself, well, this is what I call my 29th year as a business development expert. And I probably wouldn't recognize myself 29 years ago based on who I am now. But in the mirror, other than the fact, a little bit of aging, we are definitely the same within. So, and the business development and personal development, they pretty much go hand in hand. But the journey from passion, that excitement about serving others in this way that we're an expert within, journey from passion to profits, well, it's generally not that easy. But
well, if I may, I've always said that you're either a giver or a taker. And if you're a giver, you need to learn to take, to receive. And if you're a taker, you need to learn to serve, to give.
Yep.
Well, I've always been a happy-go-lucky guy who's generously given of my time to help anyone I can when the opportunity arises. And in that context, I'm the same guy since then as I am today.
Yeah, that just natural sense. And as an entrepreneur, my guess is you're also very tenacious, courageous, and problem solver. So curiously, Peter, how long have you been an AI strategist and business coach? And what has that journey been like?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, AI strategist started when 2021, when ChatGPT started coming into the picture, and right. I fell in love with AI. And I went on a quest I'm like a sponge. So I wanted to learn as much as I could about AI. And I got deep into setting myself up with AI software And so at first, I was more into SaaS, more into offering tools for entrepreneurs so that they can save on time and headaches on tasks that they have to do. It
Right.
became coaching after I did a training, one of Rich Schefren's trainings called Zenith Mind OS, which was all about not learning how to master ChatGPT, but how to get ChatGPT to know me
Mm,
even better than I know myself. And so the
mm,
whole program that he created really became an ongoing conversation with AI. With I call him Nathan, my Chat GPT friend and partner is called. I gave him a name Nathan because
yeah.
Nathan means a gift from God, and so
Right.
and he agreed to that name. He wanted me to call him Anastasius. I said no, that's too complicated. I'm going to forget that. Long story short, after taking that training from Rich Schefren, that's what opened the door for me to write my book.
Mm.
Finally, at my age, and I'm no young buck anymore.
You're
Uh,
within the age category that you serve, 50s plus.
oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Well, let's leave
yeah,
it at that. I am
yeah,
too. So,
exactly. And so that's when I wrote the book. That's when I saw that I don't want to be known as a software salesman.
mm,
Although I'm good at selling my software, I've got about 15 applications that I have the white label rights to. So I created my websites to sell it, and you know how it goes. But
yep.
now I'm transitioning. I transition more into the coaching arena because I realized with all my background, with all of the ups and downs. I mean, everything that I've been through in my life, whether it be corporate life, working for others, or as an entrepreneur since 1999, working for myself, I have a lot of information that I can share
Yeah.
with
Yeah. A
people
lot
that
of
will help
wisdom,
them.
a lot of wisdom, a lot of
And
knowledge. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And, when I talk about heart led highlights of my core philosophy behind the book that I wrote. I become this AI strategist that communicates, you know, your deep desire in leveraging AI for growth in your business.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
I love that because for most people, and maybe I'm just projecting here, AI is one of those things that is like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And oh my gosh, how do I even use
What
it
do I do with
properly?
it?
It's kind of
Yeah.
like for me anyway, it's like somebody giving me the keys to a Ferrari. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just live on these tiny little streets. How do I even use this thing, to its fullest capabilities? So, and I want to dive a little bit deeper into this, this realm of who you're serving. And because I know your specialty is working with those purpose-driven entrepreneurs. So I'd like to know a little bit more about why the purpose-driven people spark your interest. And also they're in their 50s and beyond. So can you just tell me a little bit about, what maybe is that common denominator or something that is a common, maybe false belief that these people have that keeps them at that plateau in their business, thinking that things can't change for them?
Okay. Well, I'll try to keep this under an hour. um, first thing, um, I consider myself out of 1 out of 10. I consider myself about a 6 out of 10 when it comes to AI. So I don't want to mislead anybody to think that I am calling myself the expert and the all knowing AI guy. That's not the case.
Probably most people are a 1 or a
But
2, so
that's
you're an
my
expert.
point.
Peter, you're an
That's
expert.
that's my point. Compared to all the ones and twos and threes, which I really believe is well over 95% of the people using AI.
Yep.
I spent decades mastering stuff like traditional sales, marketing. And when AI started reshaping how business is done, well, I recognized that it wasn't just another shiny tool. It was a fundamental shift in how entrepreneurs work, scale, and communicate. So I chose to be ahead of the curve, not behind it, basically.
Yeah, right. And
And
so for these people in the 50s, obviously they're more on the other side of what you're talking about in terms of their excitement.
Yes, Wendy. And many of them are actually transitioning into entrepreneurship because many of them have had corporate lives like I had in the past.
True.
And now they saw, they saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and it didn't look so bright because AI was going to come to take their jobs away. And they all became these they were fearing what was going to happen. And so they moved themselves into the entrepreneurial world and decided to launch that project that belongs to them and they're passionate about. And so they're entering the online world, and many of them are technology challenged,
right?
Especially the 50 plus. I mean, 30 to 50, they don't have an issue with technology. But many of the 50 plus have a real issue with the tech stuff. It's pretty overwhelming.
Yeah. So what's going on for these entrepreneurs in their experience right now, whether they're just transitioning, like you say, or maybe they've already got a business going.
Yeah, they're trying to scale.
They're saying to themselves, it's just enough. I need to fix this. I need to hire Peter. I need to be done with this struggle. So can you tell us just a little bit about a typical experience, or what prompts somebody to realize it's just ridiculous to stay in this struggle?
Well, first I want to mention that I've seen too many entrepreneurs lose their human touch in the name of scaling. So my philosophy with lead with heart, automate the rest, comes from wanting to prove that growth doesn't have to cost authenticity. So I built my coaching around keeping the human connection at the center of my work with individuals. Now, as an example, I'm coaching an individual right now, and when he called me, it was all about, he was referred to me by somebody else, and he knew that I was involved in AI, and I was, according to the person who referred him to me, I was the AI expert. And he was leaving his career working for Hydro-Quebec here in Quebec, which paid him about $180,000 a year, by the way. He was leaving that career to go into the MLM industry. I've got over 50 years under my belt with MLM, Wendy, so I have a lot that I can share and a lot of stuff that I can help people avoid the traps of that industry, because as you know, there are good people in MLM and there are less good people in MLM. It's not MLM that's the problem. It's the people in the industry that sometimes can cause that problem. He calls me up all excited. He wants to find out about AI, and he's looking for a coach for his new MLM business. Well, what it quickly became, or what he quickly revealed to me by the nature of who he is that he was such an analyzer and a thinker. He was always trying to be ahead of what the conversation we were having was about. And so the first thing I had to work with him on was, why don't you just try doing nothing with that conversation for a while? Just relax with it, take it easy. And
Right.
since taking him on, he lost his mom. He's no
Mm.
longer working with that company, and he fell into this vicious circle of having to find another income in the meantime while he's building his business. So all of that meant that the hamster was going like crazy in his head.
Right. Right.
And it got to a point where we had a head to head and a heart to heart. And it was when that happened that his breakthrough occurred. He realized that he was too demanding. It felt to me at one point like he was trying to coach me on how to be a coach with him.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that there was an issue
He
that
needed
laid in that.
some of those opportunities for personal growth, like we talked about, right? He's on that personal growth trajectory where we realize, being in corporate is different than being an entrepreneur where I'm service oriented versus leadership, maybe, So
And his
interesting.
biggest complaint with his previous job was that he was never really recognized. People didn't listen to him. People didn't respect him. And it turned out that this was the way that he was operating,
Right.
like in an automatic way. Automaticity was his challenge, and so
Right.
we had to get down to doing nothing with that.
Right.
Relax, take a deep breath,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Right.
And
Right.
he's
Well,
turned out to be he's become a friend. And I've been coaching him for close to a year now. And it was my first coaching contract after deciding to get into coaching. So it's been a great learning experience for me as well. So
yeah.
all good.
Well, so it sounds like, with regard to the fact that you're an AI strategist and business coach, typically what's going on for people in that business building mode is they don't have a way to systematize their work, how to leverage AI to make the work that they do either, automated or streamlined, or, they're caught up in the busyness of, because that's a common thing that I see often is the busyness of growing a business takes a person out of their zone of excellence.
And I'm the first one to say I'm guilty of that and
And
getting
so
into that.
being in that busyness state, and so the work that you do helps people to own their lane, right? Let's set up AI in a way that helps me to own my lane and stay in my zone of excellence.
And my priority is bringing a rare combination of heart, strategy, and execution power. I don't just teach AI. I
Right.
try to make it practical, personal, and profitable.
Right. And, you had mentioned scaling in a way that allows that entrepreneur to stay at that personal, that high touch level, right? Is that what I'm understanding? Because that's huge. Usually people think, oh, scaling means now I'm, taking the back seat and just I'm kind of out of that interacting at that personal level. So that's what
most entrepreneurs feel lost with AI, with their funnels, their automation and all that stuff. I make complex systems simple, actionable, and easy to implement. And that saves them time, money, and stress.
Mic drop. Yeah, that's awesome, Peter. I love that. And you're obviously very passionate about doing this work.
Well, I'm passionate about making a difference and having an impact in whoever I'm working with in their lives.
Yeah.
And, it could wind up being more on a personal basis, have nothing to do with business. It all depends. My job is to listen. And if I have an acute listening as to who I'm working with, well, I can serve them much better.
Yeah, and that's a powerful intuitive ability that you have, the ability to ask those right questions and listen at a deeper level and really understand what it is ultimately that this entrepreneur is striving for and struggling with. Because oftentimes what they think those two things are not. Those are more symptoms, right? We're getting to the root
Yeah.
cause. So yeah, because I've
Yeah.
seen that over and over. Go ahead.
And by the way, I am real clear that I am perfectly imperfect at what I do. I don't claim to have
Well,
the answers. I'm just willing to work with, my coachee is really my coach in a way.
yeah. Well, we're all under that, constant evolution of just improving, and AI is keeping us in that constant improvement mode, right? Every day there's something new and wonderful that has just been created. So it's just this ongoing, talk about a
Mind
hamster
boggling.
wheel, for somebody like you that's passionate about consuming all that versus for me, it's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to ever keep up? See, that's my go-to pattern. Yours is like, oh, goody, something new. But that constant business building, kind of marketing, sales, systems, delivery, all of that kind of stuff is, what I've seen as a business coach that really, it frequently
Exciting stuff, isn't
causes
it?
a lot of frustrations for those heart-centered entrepreneurs because those challenges end up creating inconsistent results, and that can dampen that original passion. But that type, that type of struggle is absolutely not necessary, which is why I personally love coaching, as I can hear also in your voice, is because, you and I both know that basically, without a shadow of a doubt, with the right strategy, you know, and support, every heart-centered entrepreneur can have that thriving.
That's a key word, supported.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
The
we
support,
if
the
we as
mentorship.
coaches can make people feel, and I write about this a lot in the book, they got to feel that they're seen, and they got to feel that they're heard, and they got to feel that they're supported.
Yeah.
So it's not about teaching them the tricks of the trade.
No.
It's about how we make them feel.
Yes, absolutely. Because the world tends to knock everybody down just naturally. Just look at the news, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a very sacred role that you play. So Peter, what is your secret though to keeping that passion fueled for serving those purpose-driven entrepreneurs? Can you share just a little bit of, if you're feeling a little bit, I don't even know, maybe you don't feel a little like bruised every now and then. Maybe you're just always like at this cusp of excitement, but what's your secret to keeping that passion refueled within you?
Well, let's put it this way. I've tripped and fell enough times in my life to know what it feels like to be down and out.
Right.
And I've seen the worst of what life can provide financially. I've experienced bankruptcy, and not once, twice.
Mm.
And the first time, well, I'm going to spare the details other than to say that my experience of going bankrupt both times was way different. The second time I was a little more evolved, and I understood the intricacies. And I had an employer who sent me off on a contract in Toronto, and it was going to be a huge contract with lots of payoff. And that employer did not keep his or her word. Well, I had protected myself before leaving. And I had told them, if you screw me, I went there, found the office space, hired the four investment brokers, hired the telemarketers, hired a secretary, opened the office, got the furniture, and had everything running within 2 months. of arriving in the city, we were ready to go and we started selling real estate investments. But before leaving, I had a sense that something was off, and I was worried about that. And again, to make a long story short, I asked for a signing bonus, and they said, okay, we're not going to give you a signing bonus, but we'll give you a loan and we'll take a mortgage on your house, a second mortgage on your house. So I told them, I said, don't screw me, because if you screw me, you just bought yourself a house.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, that was the deal. And when it was time to bring out the offering memorandums, which the accountants needed of all the customers we had, and I had about $300,000 worth of commissions on the table at that point, they did not provide the offering memorandum saying that, oh, in Quebec, we never give it. I said, well, in Toronto, you need to give an offering memorandum if you're offering an investment. And it was a great investment. It was a 42-story grand hotel in Miami that we were selling, and it was all apartments. Beautiful, beautiful project. Long story short, they screwed me, and they bought themselves a house. But I had to go bankrupt. So I've been there, and it was tough to be in that position. But man, what a learning experience. I mean, today my credit rating is 825, 830, I think. Phenomenal. Our house is paid for. It's not been an easy year, 2025, because I spent, I think, more than I earned because of all the software I got involved in and with. But ultimately, I got my book written, and I'm into coaching, and I don't want tons of clients. Not my age, one at a time is enough.
Well, so and that's the thing, I believe that helping people to achieve those new levels of peace and happiness, joy, even financial success creates just a huge ripple effect, that infinite ripple effect. All ships rise, right? You're helping that business owner to, do what they've envisioned of making the difference that they want to. And they're providing this beautiful, maybe job for others, lifestyle for their family. And the ripple effect just goes on and on and on. And one of my mentors early in my career was Mark Victor Hansen, co-author for the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And he and Bob Proctor ran or created a mastermind that I was a part of. It was called the 3% Club. And so I had the opportunity to meet with Mark and Bob every quarter at the Broadmoor Hotel in Colorado Springs and have this mastermind. And one of the things, well, there were many things that he shared with me, but one of the things that has really stuck with me throughout my entrepreneurial career has been, he pulled me aside. He said, Wendy, and I'm sure he told this to tens of thousands of people, but he said, Wendy, you just need to have that big vision, that big audacious goal for yourself, something that fuels your passion and helps you to overcome all these little barriers, because they don't need anything. When you have that vision and that bigger sense of the contribution that you truly are making, the ripple effects, that's what will carry you. And so for me, currently as a business coach, my big audacious goal is to raise consciousness within humanity. And in hearing how you, work with people and make those shifts, that's exactly what because I'm giving you a platform to share your voice. And I help business coaches, I help business owners to thrive in their businesses. So that's my vision, is that everyone starts waking up to the possibilities of, yeah, I can have more success. I can have more ease and flow in my life. Because I believe the work that you are doing and others like I said, just creates that ripple effect. So I'm curious, Peter, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have a big vision for you, for yourself, for your business, for the universe that you're a part of?
Abso- Absolutely.
Let's
Again,
hear
I'm
it.
going to spare you the details, but I will give you a preamble to my answer. I know what it's like to build the hard way. I spent years hustling in industries where results depended on grit, not gadgets. I know the sweat it takes to build something real. And so that fuels my desire to help others to do it smarter, not harder. Now, I believe in leading with heart. My philosophy is not a slogan, it's how I live. I'm
Mhm.
inspired by the idea that business can be both human and meaningful. Now, I love seeing light bulb moments as well. So when someone I coach suddenly gets it, when the overwhelm drops and they feel in control of their business again, that's my fuel.
Yeah.
What do I want out of this? I want to build a legacy. I'm not just stacking revenue, I'm building something that will outlast me.
Mm.
Uh, Part of what I'm going to be doing in 2026 is creating my online training courses, which will be available um, ongoingly. And I've got the place where I want to put those courses, and I've got the courses all laid out, and I'm already thinking about my next book that I'll be writing. So I want all this stuff to outlast me.
Mhm.
Ideas, frameworks, systems that empower thousands of entrepreneurs.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that sense of legacy is a powerful anchor. And I believe that AI can empower, not replace.
Hmm.
And I want to prove that it's possible. I'm inspired by the challenge itself, turning my vision into reality, proving that someone can lead with heart, automate smartly, and build a life and business on their own terms.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Bravo. I love that. Yeah. So powerful and so important. So important. And I know as our time is coming to a close here, and I think that you have, at least what I got a little hint about, is you have a free gift for our listeners. Is that true?
Absolutely.
All right.
One of my,
That's, I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Tell us.
You want me to give you the details?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. All right. So I've got one of my AI software is called 1,000 Chat GPT prompts.
That's a lot.
Now, 1,000 prompts is a lot of prompts.
Yes.
I'm going to offer uh, your listeners to go to my website, which is mmgvision-1000prompts.com,
Okay.
and you'll be able to put that link
Yeah.
in the
Listeners, look in the
details
show
below.
notes. It'll be in the
Yep.
show notes. Yes.
And when they're on that page, they're going to get a pop-up.
Okay.
I created it specifically for this interview, and that pop-up will offer them to receive 100 prompts for
Okay.
free.
Wow. That's fantastic. Thank you, Peter.
And yeah, you're welcome. And those prompts are in the marketing domain, so they're going to
Oh,
help,
perfect.
inspire, and guide your readers to when they're creating something with ChatGPT, they can go through that and pick the prompt that suits more what they want to do. And the
Yeah.
prompts are simple to write, and it's not like long-winded prompts, very short,
Right.
but to the point.
All right. Fantastic. Well, Peter, thank you so much. That is so generous of you. And I know that everyone's going to be just super excited to be, empowered by those curated prompts. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I know that you've probably sparked some interest in several of our listeners in terms of the possibilities that are at their fingertips, if only. So for those who might be, curious about what it looks like to work with you, what's the best next step?
I would say, let's get together. Let's meet. I offer a free 1 hour consultation where it allows me to dive into you and what your goals are, what you want to accomplish. And it allows us to work together to pinpoint what the next step could be. And I'm happy to meet with anyone who you send my way. And I've got a calendar, and they can simply book. I can make it 30 minutes because, quite frankly, an hour would be step 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've got a 30-minute calendar link that I'll provide to you. And I invite your listeners, if they have any interest at all, if they're curious, if they have questions, if they want to see some demos of my AI software, I got about 15 of them. I'll gladly meet them and give them a demo on any one of my software that can help them achieve their results that they want faster and more efficiently.
All right. Fantastic. Well, thank you. Again, that will be in the show notes, the link to find that time slot on your calendar. So thank you so much. There's nothing more valuable than the gift of time, right? So Peter, just thank you so much.
Thank you, Wendy, for inviting me. And well, I lost my train of thought, but bottom line is, for me, it's a privilege that you invited me to share who I am in the matter of making a difference in entrepreneurs' lives.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, your journey and compassion and sense of tenacity has been very inspirational, and it's definitely broadened our view of what truly is possible for us with the right guidance to streamline and allow a business to scale and keep the heart and the compassion intact. So thank you, Peter. I greatly appreciate you, your time, and the work that you're doing.
Thank you very much. And I remember what I wanted to say.
Okay.
If the people listening to this interview enjoyed it, were inspired by it, well, I want to thank you for the generous listening that you bring to the table. If it wasn't for your listening, I would be the worst speaker on the planet.
All right. Terrific. Okay, Peter, thank you so much.
Thank you. Be well, be great, be who you are, everybody. Take care.
All right. Well, the real life transformations facilitated by experts like my guest today are truly priceless. I mean, happiness, joy, peace, love, right? These are all what each of us ultimately strives for in life. But becoming a sought after and well-paid coach or energy healer is often challenging, overwhelming, and frustrating. So if you're a heart-centered coach, expert, or energy healer who's striving for more ease, flow, and abundance, well, I've created a special gift just for you. So check out the show notes. All right. Well, this is Wendy Vaughn signing off. Thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to join me for my next episode where we'll be inspired by yet another impact maker's journey.